everyone, welcome to part 2 of our hand sewn mask tutorial. And if you haven't watched part 1, which is how to sew a backstitch seam, well, we suggest that you watch that one first. In this video, we are going to show you how to assemble together your mask after you have sewn the first seam, as in video part 1. So now you see that we have sewn together 2 sets of the fabric that we have already done in the first video. So this is sewn together with the first seam that we have sewn by hand. So the ones that I've shown here are shown by machine, but it's the same. So after you have sewn the first stitch, you would have joined these 2 pieces of fabric together, and this will eventually be turned inside out. So you have also done a second one. So this blue one I'm going to use for the outside of the mask part that is going to face outside to the world. This part is the inside of the mask, so this is going to rest on your face and it's going to be hidden behind the blue one. So first we are going to show you how to join these 2 pieces of fabric together. Now we're going to join the front and the back of the mask together. So first turn them inside out, and this is just to show you how they are going to be looking like when you have finished sewing them. So eventually, after you have sewn it and you have turned it inside out, this will be the outside of the mask. This will be on the inside of your mask. However, if you're going to sew them together in this way, then all these frayed pieces of the edge of the mask, the threads are going to come out like that once you pull on it. So to hide all these and prevent further fraying of the fabric as you use and wash them, these would be hidden inside. So they will be like this, they will be attached like this eventually. So in order to do that, what we can do is to sew them face to face like this. We'll sew along the seam, and then once we're done with that, we will turn it inside out. Then we will achieve that seam with the raw edges hidden inside the mask. Now I will show you how to pin the 2 pieces of your mask, the front and the inside, together. So first, this one, turn it this way, and then have the mask pieces face to face together. So put the inside piece in there and then kind of fan it out this way. Next, we start pinning from the center. So look for the middle, the seam in the middle on both sides, and we're going to aim to have the pins go in. So I'm not sure if you could see it, but there's a very faint chalk line here. I'm going to insert it into the seam exactly where the line is, right in the middle of the seam. And then on the outside piece, I'm going to insert it at exactly the same point that's marked there as well. So where the chalk line, which marks where the seam is going to sit, intersects with the middle seam, and I'm going to put the pin in, match the 2 seams in the middle, and I'm going to turn the pin down this way along the seam, and it's going to come out here on the other side, right in the center of the seam. Okay, so like this and like this. So this marks the center point, and then it anchors the 2 pieces together. I'm going to do the same for the bottom. Go in, then match the point for the back piece, and then come out in the center. So these 2 pins now mark the center, and then the center seam is aligned on both of the pieces. Then I'll start pinning from here out to the side, and then here out to the side. Just follow along the line, and then here as well, and then the other side. Kind of have to look front and back on both the pieces to make sure that they are aligned. If you didn't draw your line very well, you may have a little bit of difficulty here now adjusting it. So can you see it's on the line at the back more or less, and at the front. So just continue sticking the pins in and match the seams, the seam line on both sides. Turn and have a check, and then maybe one last one. Turn and have a check, and then the bottom as well. So it's very important to draw your lines well when you have your paper pattern attached to your fabric, so that this part becomes so easy. And when you anchor the center seam down with the first 2 pins in the middle, the rest should be matching quite easily from the front and back, but still keep turning to the back to just have a check and make sure it sits. So you have finished pinning your front and inside of your mask, and you're ready to sew these seams together now. So we will start sewing from this corner using the back stitch, travel out here along the nose and then coming down here to the other side. And once we're done with that, we will turn it the other way around, and we will start from this side going down. This will be your chin, and then finishing all the way. Now we have finished sewing our seams, the middle one, and then these two, the top and the bottom of your mask. So we're just going to turn inside out now, and you just do it slowly like this, like you're turning your socks inside out, same kind of thing. Then slowly pull all the loose fabric out from the other side, and you are kind of done. So let's just align the seams in the center and then flip it, so this will be outside and it will form a cup like this. Okay, so that's the inside, and you turn all these at the sides, completely open up. Now at this point you might find that it's very helpful to use an iron and lay open all these seams as best you can, and then iron these flat, and iron this edge flat all the way. You can even do it from the inside, so that these seams are sitting very nicely flat and open up as much as you can. So at the ends, this will be on the sides of your face, on your cheeks. You can kind of like put this against your face and decide like how much you want to cover on the sides of your face. So once you have decided how much you want to cover, you can tuck this in this way, and then do the same for the other side depending on how much you want to cover, like this. So they will form like a pocket on each side. And then you have a choice now of whether you want to sew this flat, or you want to leave an opening here and then just sew these 2 corners. Leave the opening here for you to be able to insert a filter. If you want to insert a filter, I suggest that you keep both sides open so that you can insert the filter from one side and then use the other side to gently pull the filter out and then position it in the center. So that's a nifty trick to do. This is the 2 corners where you are going to insert your elastic or your ties, and then you can sew them down and anchor down this way. So these are your choices. Or if you want to just close the sides, you don't want a pocket to put in the filter, you can insert your elastic and then sew this seam flat. In the same way, you can use your backstitch seam and then sew this flat, and then your mask is done. This is what the finished mask looks like with the elastic already inserted at the end on both sides. So this is how you insert the elastic after you have tucked in and decided how long this wants to be against your face, how close you wanted this to be nearer to your ear. You take your elastic end and then insert them inside here, maybe about 2 cms. Tuck it inside the pocket, and then with a pin this down this way. So pin the elastic down. And then now, just like this, with the rest of the elastic still on the roll, you can hang this over your ear and decide how tight you want the elastic to hang. So once you've decided this length, then you cut this side, and then again, leaving the 2 cms, tuck it in, pin it down, and then sew the seam here. So when you're finished sewing, it will look like this. This is when you are not wanting to put a pocket here for your inserting of a filter. So if you want to seal it close, just sew it across like this. So make sure you make more stitches here as well as here, so that the elastic doesn't come off. Okay, you can even sew across on both sides just to be super sure that the elastic stays put. Right, so from the inside it will look like this. Okay, and then you're done. And I'll show you this nifty trick to tie a quick knot at the end that works every time. Okay, so let us just make a double thread. So it means going through the needle 1 time and then pulling this, kind of make sure that you have enough thread at one go. And I am going to cut this. Okay, and we are ready to tie our knot at the end. So this is a nifty trick that I learned from one of my students. So, you can always not just learn from your teachers, but also from your students. So, come to the end of your thread here, like this. Okay, then with your other hand, kind of grab hold of these two ends, because we're going to sew with two threads at the same time. Okay, so that's like the double thread. We are going to make like a cross with our thread and our needle like this. Okay, so it's like a cross, right, at 90 degrees. Then we are going to kind of like use our thumb and then push this needle against your forefinger to keep that little end of the thread there. Then with our other hand, we're just going to grab hold of these long strand. We're going to wind around the needle just one time, pull it down but not too hard, and then we're going to change our position. Okay, so I'm going to hold like this, release my thumb, and put my thumb over my forefinger like this. All the loop that you just made is going to be tied between your fingertips, and then now with your other hand, you're just going to pull this needle out, keep pulling the strand, and then until the very end. And when you release your fingertips, there's a little knot at the end. Okay, so it works every time. Now you can try that out.